The answer wasn't marrying Gordon. It was unfair to him and unfair to me. Well, even if it is 20 years too late, I'm going to make David stay with me. The only thing that could pull him away from me is feeling guilty about his family. That's what I'm going to have to watch.
How are you going to do that?
Don't know. But I will. I have to.
There you go.
I wish you would have let me help. There are two sorts of people in my building who don't have to do any work. Interstate visitors and landladies. Here, I gave you an in there.
Sorry?
Oh, forget it.
I think I'll go on feed plan C.
Aren't you having any?
Oh, I'm not hungry.
Oh, don't know why she's so miserable. With Wayne walking, she should be jumping out of her skin.
You're very fond of her, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. So, what are we going to do today?
I think I'll go home. Now, I'm all right, really. You didn't catch me out once last night.
True.
I'm missing the kids. Thanks.
I'm very glad you trusted me enough. It's going to be a long week for you.
At least David hasn't been told. If he comes back, it will be because he wants to.
How can you be so sure? That Patricia hasn't told him?
Oh, he'd be here by now if she had.
If he comes back... No. When he comes back, are you going to mention it?
I'll play it by ear. He's very proud. I think it'd be a lot easier on him if I waited till he brought it up.
You're amazing. If you don't know why, I can't tell you. Eat up. Then we get you packed.
They ever boot you out, Rosie, there's always a job with me. Can't take a compliment, that woman.
Maybe she thought you were having a dig.
Don't see how. It may not be cuisine nouvelle, but it's certainly tasty.
I'm spending the morning at the stable. What are you going to do?
Not sure. Well, I can look after myself.
I'd like you to go over to the Reed house. Tell Mal to put a bomb under some of them. They seem to be doing less every day.
Nothing a little girl talk won't fix.
How long's she staying?
You really like Charlie, eh?
Do you know or don't you?
No idea.
I don't know how Gordon puts up with them all.
Oi! Talk time. You called me, remember?
I feel like getting away on my own.
5 minutes? One of the things you came up with been running through my head. You said something about outside forces breaking you and David up when you were kids.
Hmm?
Well, you've still got exactly the same problems now. Well, variations on them. It's about time you thought about it.
We're totally different people. We're 18 then.
Well, think of the practicalities, darling. Well, where will you live? What will you live on? Well, who'll be your friends?
We'll cross those bridges when we come to them.
It's called burying your head in the sand.
It's called trusting your feelings.
What happened to my 5 minutes?
It might help a bit more if you spent more time coming up with answers and thinking less about the problems.
John? Oh, that's attractive.
What do you want?
Are you going straight over to the Reed house? Good. Give me 5 minutes. I'd like to see it. It'd be nice to meet your father, too.
Hey, Dave.
How's it going?
This is Charlie Bartlett, a friend of Patricia's. This is my dad.
Oh, pleased to meet you. Patricia's been telling me about the renovations. Thought I'd come and have a look for myself.
We'll go to it.
Is Mal here?
Around the back with the plumbers.
Oh, he's got orders from the boss. Why don't you show me over?
Look, I won't be long. I've just got to give Mal a message.
Oh, don't mind, do you?
Gives me a break.
Oh, that's settled then. Patricia said it was in quite a mess when you started.
Yeah, say that again.
Who let it run down?
It belongs to a friend of ours. She's never lived here, so it didn't get looked after properly. Through there.
Oh, thanks for driving us, love.
Oh, that's okay.
Beryl hasn't got the money to throw away on cabs.
I thought you were staying longer.
No. Homesick.
Well, she probably arrived back in Melbourne before we got here with that traffic on the bridge.
You were very quiet on the way back.
Oh, I hate that airport run, especially on Saturdays when everyone else is out shopping.
Was a bit crazy. Do you want a drink?
No, thanks. Guess who I saw last night?
No?
Richie Miller.
Why did you take so long to say something? Where was he?
He came into the bar where I'm working.
Do you think it was deliberate?
Oh, no, he was with a couple of girls. They're probably looking for clients. It's that sort of place, you know. Lots of businessmen in town overnight.
Did he talk to you?
No, he just kept giving me smart looks.
Well, I think that's all he'll be doing too.
You used your contacts from the old days to scare him off before, didn't you? Why didn't you tell me?
Well, it would have meant telling you about myself. And at that stage, wasn't too sure I wanted to.
At all?
Well, I'd help pull you together. And I was worried about you finding out that I'd been on the game too. I thought it might, well, you know, give the idol feet of clay. I don't know why I worried. You handled it.
Well, I had a bit of an idea by then. And some of the things you let drop, scaring off someone like Richie, who did you call?
Mr. Steve Kaplan.
Some contact.
I did Steve a favour years ago when he was just starting out. Of course, he's come a long way since then, but he never forgets. With a threat like that hanging over his head, I don't think Mr. Richie Miller is going to get smart.
Are you doing anything tonight?
No, not a thing.
Well, would you mind coming down to the bar just for a while? Just in case. I've got a feeling you might come back.
Of course I will. It'll be fun to see the look on his face.
Oh, thanks, Fiona. I didn't want to tell you, but...
Ah, I'm glad you did. The sooner we buzz Mr. Miller off, the better.
Serves you right for trying to surprise everyone, Beryl.
I don't mind, really.
You should have called, Mum.
And mucked up everyone's day. You would have cancelled the footy. Kevin and Lynn wouldn't have gone to their barbecue. It's better the way it is.
Are you sure you don't mind being left alone?
If you weren't going out, I'd boot you out.
Bit tired, eh?
Oh, if you'd have met our friend Fiona, you'd understand why. She had me out in the town 2 nights in a row. Now, go on or you'll miss the start of the game.
You ready, mate?
Yeah,
What do you think of his mascot, Beryl?
Mum did it.
It's beaut.
And look what I'm supposed to wear.
Go on. We'll see you later, Beryl.
Bye.
That's mine.
See you when we get home, Mum.
Have a good time, love.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll be out in a minute. Everything's okay then?
Ah, your mum's up there to work. I've been a dumb cluck. David's stuck out at the Reed place. John's there as well. Even if they wanted to, there is no way they could get up to anything.
Well, why didn't you stay the full week then?
I found out what I wanted to, and I was getting in the way. They are working their socks off. They don't need a visitor hanging around. So I spent a few days with Fiona and came back.
Well, I'm glad we were wrong.
So am I, love.
Oh, they're getting impatient. I'll see you around 6.
Okay,
Bye.
Jill will understand. You're only going down there for a drink.
But I promised her.
Jerry and Roz liked you the other night. They want to see more of you.
Well, they can see more of me some other time. Oh, come on. It's not the end of the world if I turn down a dinner with a couple of your friends.
I've already accepted.
Well, you shouldn't have, not without asking me.
I phoned, you weren't here. I had to say yes or no.
Well, you should have said no.
What's so damned important about a drink with a girl you see every day?
There's no need for that.
I'll find it very embarrassing if I have to cancel.
It's more than just a drink. I think I'll join you. I've told you about myself. I think it's time you heard about Jill, too. I didn't go through the rigmarole of getting her back on her feet again for some creep like Richie Miller to come along and undo all the good work.
I didn't realize you kept in touch with people from those days. It's 25 years ago.
I don't see them much. Steve...
Steve is a well-known criminal.
Oh, he's not a bosom buddy, for God's sake. Oh, I'm sorry. Look, I never see Steve. I did him a favor years ago. And when Richie Miller came on the scene, I knew he'd help. It's as simple as that.
You're still in touch with your old cronies, though?
Some. Mainly girls I worked with. Oh, you'd be surprised if you could see what they are now. Nice, matronly old chooks. If you saw them on the street, you'd think butter wouldn't melt in their mouth. And it wouldn't anymore.
It's not just not coming to dinner with Jeremy and Roz. I'm worried about you.
Oh, I can look after myself. I don't want to let Jill down.
Have a talk with her. She'll understand.
Ah, thanks for being so understanding, love.
Ah, don't be silly. He probably won't even turn up.
Yeah. Well, if he does, low profile, okay? Save it for when you trot out the big guns tomorrow night.
How did Scott take it?
I nearly told him about Bunty and Fell, too. I think that would have been a bit much for his system to take.
He'd probably think you were running a home for wayward women.
No, I'm not ashamed of my friends. It's just something he's not used to, though. At least they're not boring like Jeremy and Roz.
Dinner tonight.
Oh, yes. It's the price you have to pay for mixing with the social set.
My feet are killing me.
Good. They're doing the job for me.
How am I expected to advise you about a man I've never seen?
You knew I wouldn't like it.
I was doing you a favor. Yes, really. On the walk back, I thought it through. I think I've come up with the answer. You want to keep David, get a relationship going. The way I see it, you've got a number of stumbling blocks. Mumbai is the answer to all of them. He loves being here. I got that out of him this morning. If you had Mumbai to offer as well as yourself, you'd have a lot better chance.
Yes, but it belongs to Wayne and Gordon.
Go for it in the divorce settlement. You haven't even thought about that side of it, have you? Take the word of experience. If Gordon has the choice of losing his half of Mumbai or being slugged with a massive cash settlement, and you're in the position to go for one, what do you think he's going to do?
Mumbai's very important to him.
I think you'll be surprised once your lawyers get to work on him.
I still don't see how it solves anything.
David's a good, solid citizen. Well, you'll have to offer him a future as well as yourself. And a future better than he has back in Melbourne. The wife's fairly ordinary, isn't she? Okay, you've got it over there. He's a truckie, right? He'd much prefer being up here. Give him a bit of responsibility. Well, why be a navvy when you can be the boss? Another good thing. Down here, he doesn't have to meet your friends. If you want to blow off a bit of steam, you come up and stay with me for a few days. You'll have the best of both worlds, darling.
What about the rest of the family, apart from Beryl?
That's where you'll have to do some talking. You've got the perfect argument. Well, he's in his late 30s. The family will be branching out on their own. Where did that leave him? Alone in Albert Park with his frumpy wife, driving someone else's truck to make a living. If he wakes up to that, darling, you're in like Flynn.
All the men gone?
Yeah, right in the knock of 12. They don't muck around on a Saturday.
You got something cold?
Beer?
Yeah, why not?
There you go.
I'd like to be able to say I've drunk out of a beer can just once in my life. Ooh.
Well, you're in a good mood.
Why shouldn't I be?
I met your friend Charlie this morning. Charlie. Oh, God, what sort of name is that for a woman?
Well, actually, it's Charlotte, but she hates it so.
Ah.
What'd you think of her?
Oh, she is okay, but not my type, really, is she?
Isn't she?
Well, she's trying to be nice, but all that darling stuff.
Well, you call your friend's mate, she calls hers darling. Same thing.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Just take her with a grain of salt and you'll get on like a house on fire.
How long's she here for?
A couple of days.
Does she know about us?
Oh, no. No way. Her mouth's bigger than the entrance to Luna Park. Beryl bring these, did she?
Yeah.
Ah, look at Angie.
Yeah, I like that one.
I do miss her, you know. It's going to be very lonely when Wayne comes up here.
You and her'll sort it out.
Yeah, I know that, but... It's funny, you know. You and I are both in the same boat, really. Well, aren't all parents.
What do you mean?
I've lost Angie. Wayne will soon be coming up here. You've lost John and Susan, and I imagine Kevin and his wife will be getting their own place by the end of the year. I suppose, in the end, it just boils down to the two of you. In any marriage, doesn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Mind you, in lots of cases it's different for a man because he has a job. He can get a lot of satisfaction out of that.
There's not much satisfaction in driving a truck all over the country.
I thought you liked it.
Pays the bills.
Hope you like your work up here more. I'd hate to think you were doing it just to pay the bills.
I love it up here. It's a pity. That's life, though.
Yes, I suppose what it boils down to in the end is loving the one you're married to. Be a pretty bleak old age if you didn't. They're nice photos.
Yeah, aren't they?
Might just as well get to the car before the rush.
Some mess got you turned up.
No, you're just having a bad week.
Oh, how many times have I heard that excuse?
Of course they were. Weren't they, mate? You're supposed to give your old man support.
You okay, Stevie? I feel sick.
You feel real sick? Or just a little bit sick?
Real sick.
Don't worry, mate. If you feel real bad, we'll take you to Susie's hospital and they'll give you something to make you feel better. Come on, mate. Men don't cry.
Hey, you can't bring me to the football and then get sick on me.
Get in the hospital straight away. Come on.
Beryl Palmer.
Oh, it's me.
Oh, where are you all? I made a special loser's cake. I listened in on the radio. It was a pretty miserable score.
Stevie's in hospital. They're operating on him tomorrow. He collapsed as we were leaving the ground.
Oh, poor little kid. Is he in pain?
Oh, I don't think so. They've given him something.
Can you see him?
I'm going in now.
Oh, keep me posted.
Oh, I'll probably be home soon. I just didn't want you to worry about where we'd got to, that's all.
Are you going to be all right?
Yeah. I'll see you later.
Give him a kiss for me.
Okay. Bye.
He's sleeping. If he wakes up, fine, but please don't disturb him.
I suppose it had to happen.
The operation's going to work.
Why? Where's his kangaroo?
Must have left it on the seat outside.
You're the one who was supposed to crack up. Men aren't supposed to cry.
Wow, imagine how different the whole show would have been without that rule. Only Australian men aren't supposed to cry, although Scott did, didn't he, about the baby, and hopefully David will be soon. There was a big domestic, or DOMI, in Chiswick last week. Camille went and programmed the video for shock horror BBC One instead of 5 for sons and daughters. And oh boy, Kate went ballistic. DOMI, DOMI! So if you live with a certified sado, be warned, misprogram the vid at your peril. Then there's Will Stafford. That name comes up again and again. First his mum outed him, then he wrote very proudly himself, and now brother John says Will beats Sonia from Exeter hands down as the nation's most dedicated fan. In fact, when Will was at college doing drama, he wrote the sad lyrics into a speech by Figaro's mother in his own version of Marriage of Figaro. How delicious it was, he said, to spot all the sados in the audience gasping with delight and even mouthing the words, sado. More on page 391 of 5 Text.